Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to episode 196 of the Fab and Fearless Business Booster Short Show. My name is Yinka. I'm a business strategist, a coach, a speaker, an author, a child wrangler, a parent, and many things. But I'm on a mission to help women to create wealth in and through their businesses by helping them to focus on what matters most for the business, which is cash flow and strategy, and what matters most for the business owner, which is mindset and habit. It is both my pleasure and privilege to welcome you to this 196th episode of the show, where each week at 1:30 p.m. UK time on a Wednesday, I come to you with a short, sharp shot to boost both you and your business with one powerful truth and one actionable tip. So if you can see and hear me over on my LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube socials, please jump into the chat, come and say hello. And let us get this party started. Today, we are talking about honing your cash flow making superpowers. I'm really excited to share this topic with you, and I am excited to support you to do all the things you can to make more of the cash flow that you want. So, someone who is sharing and saying, "Hey, yeah," is coming up as LinkedIn user. So I'm going to guess that's Sharon. I'm hoping it's Sharon. Lovely to see you, awesome lady. Thank you so much for joining me live. Let me know in the chat how you are doing on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being things could not be any worse, Yinka. 10 being, wow, things could not be any better. Let me know how you're doing. Hey, Eva, it's you. Hello. I was literally about to say hello and thank you, ladies and gents. Today's episode has been inspired by the incredible Eva. I should have found out how to pronounce your surname before trying to pronounce your surname on a live stream and then getting it bloody wrong. So I would say it could be Euretic. Let me know if that's right. Please spell it phonetically for me. I would love to make sure that I get it accurately. And I wanted to say thank you to Eva for her incredible question to me after my session with the brilliant Link Up community. Shout out Yasmin Alich and his incredible community there. Eva was part of the audience. She said, "Your session was awesome and I want to know more about this." And I was like, brilliant. I'm going to share more about that in the Booster Shot Show. Hello to the incredible Sharon. Thank you so much for joining me over on LinkedIn. Hello, amazing Cleo. It's great to have you in the room. Ladies, please let me know on a scale of 1 to 10 how you are feeling today. I always want to make sure that I have a really clear understanding of the scores on the doors, and it is my intention to make sure that I am elevating that through this session. I believe that's Eva. I think she has come in. I don't know why you're like, it's all telling me. She said, haha, oh my gosh, yes, that's how you say my surname. Yes, bravo. Most butcher it completely. Yes, Eva. When your name is Olayinka, initially Ati Josen, afterwards Ewola, I totally understand the name butchering scenario. So I'm really glad that I didn't completely destroy it. And I'm so grateful to you for your honest feedback, for your extra questions. I'm hoping that I can really offer you some insights today. Hello, Nora Kelly. It is so lovely to have you here. Hey, Felicia Finlanders. Lovely to have you, awesome lady. Nora is 4 out of 10. We send you love. We send you peace. And I'm hoping that I have something to share that will elevate that for you. Felicia is 99.99. I love that. It's going to be hard pressed to tip you into that 10, but we are so grateful to have you energetically here with us live today. So ladies, we are talking honing your cash flow making superpowers. Let me know in the chat, let me know if this is a topic that you want to know more about, and specifically, you want to understand if you even have a cash flow making superpower. Not least because the reason why this came up is because I, in the group yesterday and in general, said to the audience that making money is one of my superpowers. and I had such a great time. So unfortunately, didn't get a chance to go deeper into what those superpowers are, but that's what I'm here to share with you today. We are going to be talking about cash flow making superpowers, and I'm going to be sharing with you how you get to hone yours. And I'm not like, I also want to shout out one of my coaches, Susie Ashworth, because she was telling me how very excitable I am, but also not very sassy and not very. She just said she wanted to see more unhinged Yinka. And that made me laugh. If you know Susie, you will know that we are quite different in personality style. If you have ever seen Susie's, content or images, Susie, one of her most famed, images is her in a swimming costume. So you have never seen me in a swimming costume because you will never see me in a swimming costume. But one thing that Susie did say that, and she's absolutely right, is I feel very passionately about this topic, but I often present it in quite a contained and articulate and very, very calmly presented way. She's like, no, I want to see more unhinged. I want to see more of this passion. And so we are definitely bringing the passion today, because the first thing I want you to really understand, ladies and gents, is the fact that every single one of you have cash flow making superpowers. Now, you may be looking at your bank balance and saying, that's easy for you to say, Yinka, because you're looking at your bank balance and I'm looking at mine, and I don't know that I have cash flow making superpowers. But the thing I want you to really understand, and hopefully by the end of this message you will, is the fact that the things that come together to help you be great at making cash and making it flow in your business are things that we are all given. These are things that we are all given. It is part of who we are as human beings to be able to make cash. Now, I fully understand not everybody has the religious paradigm. I am a Christian, I refer to the Bible, what have you. Not everybody believes that, and I respect that. This is not a Christian show, so you don't need to leave if you're like, oh my gosh, she's going to start bashing me about Jesus. That's not what's going to happen. But the thing I want you to understand is there's a verse in the Bible that is incredibly powerful. It's Deuteronomy 8:18, and it talks about you being given the power to create wealth. Now, this wasn't given to the bankers of the day. It wasn't given to the treasurers of the day. It wasn't even given to the entrepreneurs of the day. It was given and spoken across the entire nation of the people. So the first thing I really want you to understand, and jump in the chat if you understand and you are picking up what I'm putting down here, cash flow making superpowers, they are not the preserve or the special secret activities or opportunities for a specific group of people. They are innate and part of human nature. Every single person has cash flow making superpowers. I don't know about you, but that honestly makes me want to do that cheerleading thing. That made me, when I discovered that verse, when I discovered what that meant, and when I discovered that it was a promise to all of us, not just some of us, that made me so excited, because it means that that is now an opportunity. It's available to us. And so now we know it's available to us. Full disclosure, if you're like, Yinka, that sounds great, but the Bible is like several thousand years old, and I'm still looking at my own bank account and I do not see these cash flow making, just drop it in the chat. Let me know if you're like, Yinka, just know, like, this is, I want to believe you, but I'm really struggling right now. Just let me know. I am never, ever above being disagreed with. I am not somebody who feels challenged if somebody's like doesn't agree with me or anything like that. I want to make sure that we are full blown clear about what is going on here. I just want to make sure I'm just checking in that I am indeed live in the other spaces. I know that I'm live over on LinkedIn. I can't see anything coming through from Facebook. So I just want to check that, because I want to make sure that my Facebook fam have the opportunity to get in on this message too. Okay, yes, I've just seen my own delightful face on Facebook. Love, love, love that. And so want to make sure that we are live over on YouTube as well. And I will check that in just a second. Yes. The other thing, and thank you for sharing that, Felicia. I believe you, but not my bank account. We're going to come to that in a second. So, the very first of the superpowers that really make you good at making the cash flow is understanding, sorry, blah, blah, blah. I'm so excited I can barely get my words out, but understanding the power and importance of your focus. Ladies and gents, if you are going to get great at making cash, thank you, Cleo. If you are going to get great at making cash, you need to be able to focus. And when I say focus, I want you to understand that more than ever, the things that are coming to distract you are more and more plenteous than ever before. It used to be Canva. Canva used to be the thing that used to get on my nerves when it came to people telling me, oh, I couldn't make cash or this and that. What were they doing? They were making pretty graphics on Canva. They were doing pretty pictures. They were making everything beautiful. Some of the most delicious looking businesses and brands have some of the not the least delicious looking bank accounts. So it used to be Canva. It's not Canva anymore. We now have a new toy. Now everybody's on Claude. Everybody's doing ChatGPT. Everybody's on this AI train. AI is incredible, phenomenal, and doesn't change a damn thing about what you need to do to create the cash that you want. The first of the superpowers you are going to have to hone is your focus. Why? Because energy flows where attention goes. And so, while this might sound like a mindset thing, this is actually also an action thing. You are going to have focused, dedicated time to making cash in your business. And you might be hearing that and thinking, oh, well, okay, how much? And the question I would ask you is, how much do you want to make cash? For me personally, I like to make cash every day. And because I like to make cash every day, I go make offers every day. I make offers every single day, multiple times a day, multiple offers a day, different offers, different price points, different people every day. Why? Because I want cash every day. And so it creates a scenario where you need to decide, how much do you want cash? If you want cash every day, then being able to focus on creating that is really, really important. Hello, Lorati. Thank you so much for joining us live. So great to have you here. We're talking about the superpower of focus. I want you to understand that the results that you have now are telling you what you have been focused on. And so, what I want you to understand, and I also want, yes, like, I need you to understand that if you are not seeing the bank account balance that you want, if you're not seeing the results that you want in your bank account, that's because you haven't been focused on putting the money in the bank. That's facts. Now you might be sitting there thinking, but I've been doing the things, I've been making the offers, and I'm like, great. I'm not saying you haven't been doing that, but I'm saying that creating cash is a process. And so if you have been going through the process, if you've not been getting to completion and putting the cash in the bank, then something has fallen down along the way. Something has fallen down along the way. Your bank account is not lying to you. Your bank account is a mirror, and it is reflecting to you how you are spending your focus, how you are spending your time. Oh, Yinka, that sounds so harsh. Why are you attacking me? I promise you I'm not attacking you. If you feel attacked, then listen up for the next piece. Because superpower number one is absolutely focus. But people think that focus is mindset. No, focus is action. The only way you are able to express your focus is through your time and your behavior. So, what are your behaviors that are bringing cash into your spaces? And trust me, as I said, it is a superpower because everything is trying to steal your time. Arguments on the internet. I had a very interesting conversation myself yesterday about being or not a dog lover. That's not more important than me going out to make offers for cash. And that's before we begin to discuss offline distractions, needing to serve my clients, needing to feed my children, needing to do all these other things. It is so important for us to recognize how many things are trying to steal our focus and how that is not going to get us the results that we want. So that is the first superpower I want to mention, but the most important, because if you don't focus, everything else falls down. Superpower number 2 is your resilience. And by this, again, it might sound like a mindset superpower, and it's not. Resilience is action. Resilience is the getting up when you fall down. Resilience is seeing, being given a no, and being and understanding what to do with it, not just accepting it as read. This superpower here is so important and so powerful because not everything just drops in our lap all the time. I was reflecting just a few moments ago with a brilliant client of mine, and I was saying, if I think about the women who have come into my spaces, many of them said no. First of all, they said no. Why? Because they were afraid, and they let their fear answer the question. Was that the right decision for them? No, because ultimately they decided to come in and work with me anyway. And so this tells us that resilience is action. My question to you is A, where is your focus? And then B, how are you being resilient? How are you continuing in spite of what looks like knockbacks, setbacks, frustrations? How are you practically taking the time that you need to look at where you're not getting the results that you want and to elevate your mindset, your skills, your habits? How are you getting better at conversion? How are you getting better at qualification? How are you getting better at being able to communicate the value that you have to offer in your products and services? They say that fortune favors the brave, and that's great. Like in a war setting, it's really like clear to see who is brave. In business, bravery looks like resilience. There is a reason why 90% of businesses go out of business in 5 years or less. And that's because most people will give up. 90% of people give up on the business. Yes, they run out of cash, but cash can always be made. And so this tells us that resilience is one of those superpowers. The most resilient person, I wouldn't bet against them. The person with the person committed to focusing and the person with the most resilience, I would not bet against them. And the reason I wouldn't bet against them is because resilience appears and reflects in your focus. When you are, head down, trying to get some stuff done, trying to get your offers out there, and then your phone buzzes, or there's something really interesting, or there's some, dancing cat video, or whatever the choice of, doom scrolling option that people are going in now. It's your resilience that says, actually, I'm going to focus on what I came here to do before I go and get involved in all of that malarkey. Or your chosen word from your part of the world. Superpower number 1 is your focus. Superpower number 2 is your resilience. So let me share superpower number 3. Because I cannot overstate this to you. Your superpower around making cash is your propensity, your disposition, your bias towards taking action. I had a brilliant conversation with a client yesterday. She, like me, is navigating half term, so her kids are on holiday. Shout out to all the parents who are also running businesses, because parenting doesn't stop just because you want to run a business, and business doesn't stop just because the kids are on holiday. So she was saying, in my spaces, one of the things that we do to channel our focus and to support our resilience is to set a weekly cash target. And she said, "Oh, I'm busy with the kids, so I don't want to set a target for this week." And I said, okay, so are you saying you don't want any money? And she was like, no, Yinka, I absolutely do want money. Who doesn't want money? And I was like, well, if you set a zero target, that is what you're saying. And she's like, yeah, no, but I don't want to do delivery. And I was like, you don't have to do delivery. But that absolutely doesn't mean that you don't want, if you don't want cash, then you set a zero target. But if you do want cash, then you set a target. We had a brilliant conversation. We went back and forth. She jumped into our every day. We have a cash flow action lab early in the morning. She jumped in the morning. It's a 45-minute sprint to be able to get those cash flow actions done, make those offers, send those posts, drop those emails, follow up on those on that cash. She had a call booked before midday. So those 45 minutes, she heard some advice, she took action and saw results very, very quickly. Now, I want you to hear me very clearly. You can't control your cash flow, not in the way that people think. Cash flow is an output. You can't control the output. What you can control is your input. And therein lies the point, because so many people think of money, they discover its energetic nature, and it is. Money is energetic, money is relational, money and energy never lies. So it is an incredibly important part of the equation. And yet, you can't make cash without action. You cannot make cash without action. If you do nothing, you get nothing. If you don't do anything different, you don't get anything different. That's the nature of cash flow, because cash flow is the most liquid and most active part of the money spectrum. And so your superpower here needs to be that bias to action, that bias, that propensity, that desire to move forward and to take action, to do the things, to make the ask, to make that offer, call that person, send that email, send that link. You have to do something. I speak to people plenty and they're like, I don't have any money. And I'm like, okay, what have you done? And they're like, well, nothing. And I'm like, well, then I'm sorry. I am magic, but I am not a magician. I cannot possibly give you cash. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to. Cash doesn't come from having good feelings about money, getting in the right energy. And I don't say that to mock it. I say it to be really clear. Money is energetic. Energy never lies. You have to do that work. And yes, I'm looking straight down the I was looking straight down the camera. So I apologize if you are a Gen Zer and that like freaks you out. Like look somewhere else for a second. But I need to look down the camera because I need you to hear me well. The energy work is the start of the conversation, not the end of it. You need to go and take action. You need to take action in a really powerful, systematic, and focused way. This is the reason why I created the 20-minute cash creation protocol. This is the reason why I take you through the 7 proximity points to cash. You don't have to guess. You don't have to faff. You can just go through with those 7 points and go through it every single day like a checklist. There is even a checklist for it. And so they are the superpowers that everyone has. Can you see that I was not, pretending? I wasn't joking when I said that everybody has these superpowers. They just need to apply them effectively. Drop in the chat. Let me know which of the superpowers has surprised you most. Which of these superpowers has surprised you most? People think, oh my gosh, you've got to be fantastic at maths to make money. No, there are plenty of functionally innumerate people who are fantastic at making money. Who are fantastic at making money. You don't have to be good at numbers. You have to be good at people. Cash flow is a people game. You are going to have to talk to people, ask people, make offers to people, connect with people, and not in that, oh, I'm going to network and not do anything specific with the networking kind of way. No. I don't know what we're talking about. Don't even get me started on the networking. I think that will have to be a completely different show. It needs to be focused. resilient, and with a bias towards action. Because my one powerful truth that I want you to understand, take it down, write it in the chat, never forget. The easiest way to predict your future is to create it. I think that was the powerful truth from last week as well. The easiest way to predict your future is to create it. And while you are honing your focus on cash flow, your resilience to the obstacles and the challenges, and your bias for strategic and intentional action, it will absolutely and categorically change the way that your business runs and the way that you show up in a way that you cannot explain. It does not take long to turn things around from a cash flow perspective. And so my one actionable tip for you today is for you to really focus on any. Let's have a look at which of those superpowers do you need to really dial into? Is it your focus? Have you been doing too many things, flitting around like a social butterfly, but really not nailing that cash? Have you been focused on, have you been not resilient? I'm trying to think of the opposite of resilience. I guess irresilient? No, that's not a word. Someone drop for me what the opposite of resilient is. But have you been taking every no and just sitting back? Have you been seeing obstacles as mountains rather than molehills, rather than things for you to switch, for you to tackle, for you to deal with? And have you been focused on all the other things? Taking action in lots of different places, but not actually having that bias to action when it comes to your cash flow. And let me say this with all due respect, but because you know that Auntie Yinka is always going to come with the truth, I need you to understand that your bank balance will answer the question for you. It doesn't really matter what you say you've been doing. Your bank balance will tell you for sure. Your bank balance doesn't lie. It's literally a reflection of what you have been doing. Focus, resilience, and bias for action. These superpowers will change your bank account, will change your business, and therefore will change your life. And so that is everything that I wanted to share with you today. Eva, thank you so much for asking the question. I hope that has begun to help answer those questions for you. I can see a couple of comments. It all says LinkedIn user, so I'm not 100% sure who is who. But what I definitely want you to understand is that in terms of the action steps that you need to take, as I said, I've created the 20-minute cash creation protocol. It is the most accessible offer I have in the market at the moment, and it costs £30 plus VAT if you pay VAT where you are, where I am. It gives you those 7 steps I spoke about. It gives you them in clarity, and it gives you the checklist you need in order to be able to take action on it. If you want them, it can also give you, if you want to upgrade to the VIP version, it gives you my scripts, it gives you my language, it gives you my words that I use in the DMs, in the emails. It gives you 7 voice notes of what I use in the DMs to make my offers, to ask for my cash, to follow up on my cash flow. If you would like to access the 20-minute cash creation protocol, if you want to drop the number 20 in the comments or in my DMs, drop the number 20. I'll be happy to share that link for you to get access to that. It's instant access. It's already available. It is a training that is 60 or so minutes long. You set a 20-minute timer. You go through the checklist, and you go through that 20-minute checklist every single day. If you're like, oh, Yinka, I'd love to be able to do that, but I don't even know what I would say, I'm like, don't worry, darling, I got you. There is an opportunity to upgrade to the scripts, the prompts, the templates, the voice notes, so you can hear what I use to power my business and to create the results that you want. So if that is your vibe, feel free, drop 20 in the comments or the DMs. I will get you that link. But in the meantime, Please, please, please make sure that you continue to hone your skills of focus, resilience, and bias for action. Get clear and intentional on those actions. If you are not sure what they are and you want that support, as I said, £30 plus VAT if you pay it, £30 without the VAT if you don't. It's a bargain, even if I do say so myself. And has really quickly helped people create massive change, massive impact in their bank account. I get messages every couple of days. Oh, I've been chasing this invoice for ages. I used your template. Oh, they finally paid me that 3K I've been running after for months. Let's stop guessing. Let's stop faffing around. Let's get focused. Let's stay resilient. And let's lean into our bias for action and make all the cash that we want. So, ladies and gents, that is everything I want to share with you today. Thank you so much for joining me live. Oh, welcome, Latrice. It's so great to have you here. Just seeing you just as I am exiting today. So, let me know your biggest takeaways. Drop the number 20 if you want access to the 20-minute cash creation protocol. I'll drop that link for you. And in the meantime, take care. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you in the spaces. Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.